You can knock off a car brand if you wanted to. This is a Toyota, and this is a Geely, a Chinese brand. Let's compare them. You can knock off an entire car, right? And parenthetically speaking, Geely is in negotiations to buy Volvo. So a brand that's based on knocking other brands off is actually buying a real brand. It's kind of a weird, twisted world. This is Li Ning, right? It's a shoe company that's probably like, well, I'm going to say it's the Nike of China, but this is their logo. It's the Nike of China. I went to their flagship store in Beijing, and I love their tagline. It's anything is possible. If you see that, right? But this has been the tagline for Adidas for about 6 years. Impossible is nothing. So anything is possible. Impossible is nothing. Let's switch that around. It's pretty cool. So pretty much in China, what China has taught me is that anything can be knocked off, right? This is Silk Street Market, right? This is the epicenter of counterfeit in the world. I went there, and basically it's rows upon rows upon rows of knocked off stuff. And what you do is you basically, the bottom floor, like the basement floor, is where you get your knocked off luggage, right? So you go there first. If anyone's going to go there, this is how you do it. You go there first. You go to the luggage section, and you get yourself a big suitcase, right, like these girls do, and then you go up and fill it up with tons and tons of stuff, right? And what's really interesting is this picture kind of alludes to, is that consumers are not like, they don't care if it's knocked off. There was a study in England about 3 or 4 years ago where I think it was something like 65% of people admitted to buying fake goods, but beyond that, they admitted to their friends that those goods were fake, right? So they weren't hiding it, right? They were like, yeah, this is fake, it's cool. But having a fake watch, like a Panerai or a Rolex, actually made them want to buy the real thing, right? So actually being fake, it could be a good thing. Right? Being knocked off is a good thing. So if anything can be kind of knocked off, and China's showing that it can, how do you create authenticity, right? How do you make sure that people know that your product is real and not fake? If you could buy a T-phone, right? And technology is so, I'm going to make this word up, knock-offable. You can knock off anything, especially technology. So how does Apple make sure that people understand that their products are authentic, or they create authenticity, right? And the way you create authenticity, and Pine and Gilmore, who wrote the Experience Economy, I think was their first book, just wrote a book called Authenticity. And they basically say that authenticity is becoming one of the major drivers of purchase intent, that you have to be authentic in order for people to appreciate or understand your product or messaging. They think that this is like, authenticity is going to be the next new battleground. And the way you create authenticity is you create spaces where people can experience your product firsthand. Right? That's pretty much how it works. And the way that Apple does it is they do it with their Apple stores, right? It's the fastest growing retail operation in retail history. Before that, it was Gap. Now Apple Stores is beating the snot out of Gap. And they're creating these pieces of authenticity because they're allowing people to interact with real people, right? So authenticity is rendered for Apple at the Genius Bar, where you can come up as an Apple owner or as a prospective Apple owner and talk to people. Can you imagine talking to people, talking about the product, right? About 10,000 people visit the store, an Apple store every day. Every week. Right? So there's all these awesome consumer engagements and opportunities to render authenticity for people to understand the product that much better. And the Genius Bar is really carrying that forward for Apple, enough so that they actually made a series of spots about the Genius Bar.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC.
And I'm a Mac genius, and I'm here to announce that it's easier than ever to switch to a Mac.
Easier? What's she talking about?
Oh, see, PC, when you buy a Mac at the Apple Store, Mac Genius will transfer your files from your old PC to your new Mac for free.
We do all the work.
Oh, no. My frustrated users don't need to hear about that. You see, fear of switching is the foundation of customer loyalty for PCs. So, we'll just shut this down.
What are you doing, PC?
Going off the air.
The Genius Bar has been such a breakthrough for Apple that it uses it in the spots, right? And really what it comes down to is just people talking to other people, right? And that's the way that Apple renders authenticity. Now, Jeremy before showed you pop-up pop-up retail. So this is a way that Vitamin Water shows authenticity. They create their own Vitamin Water stores, and it pops up in Soho, pops in Chicago, San Francisco. So what marketers are doing is creating spaces. A lot of times it's physical, oftentimes it's digital, but you create branded spaces where a consumer can immerse themselves in your brand, right? And pop-up is becoming this manifestation of immersing yourself in a brand. So it's really all about showing and not just telling, right? So do you remember when there was that big dog food scare? There was they made a bunch of dogs were dying because in China they were putting like sawdust into the products and whatnot and shipping it over here. So right after that happened, and one of the things that Pedigree did was they started opening up these pop-up stores, right? To basically assuage people to say, no, we're real, we're authentic. Come in and bring your dog, and we'll talk about the products, right? Fiat sells its Fiat in Europe sells cars in a fashion boutique, right? They don't sell it in a dealership. They create a fashion boutique where you can go and buy some jeans, a T-shirt, and a Fiat 500 when you want to, right? The bastion of knocked off goods online is eBay, right? So eBay decided to, when people were getting ripped off a lot, they said, how do we counteract this perception that, that there's a lot of like fake goods being sold? So they started opening up eBay pop-up stores, where you can go in and actually see the products or the types of products that people sell on eBay and buy it physically. So imagine this, like eBay, one of the largest online retailers, thought it was compelling for them to start opening up physical stores at the same time, right? Audi does these pop-up dealerships where you basically create a one-car dealership wherever you are, you put this little box down, it opens up, and you do test drives wherever you want. Right? So a sale, you can sell a car right there on the spot. You don't have to go to a dealership. Right? Another way that if you can knock off a car, Audi said, well, this isn't a knockoff, and you're test driving it yourself. So I think authenticity is becoming an incredible component of marketing and branding. And you have to look real because the world is going to be awash with fake. Right? And the way you create real, the way you create authenticity is with physical spaces, getting people involved with your products, having them hold it, touch it, smell it, lick it, whatever it is. But you have to show it to them, not just tell it to them. Big think. I got inspired as a creative director when I went to Moscow. And I started hearing about this guy, Rustam Tarico, who's an oligarch. As you know, an oligarch is these crazy, wealthy, super rich, super flamboyant Russians who've made their money on natural resources like oil and gas and nickel and aluminum. Rustam Tarico made his billions on another natural resource in Russia, vodka. He started a brand called Ruski Standard, right? And Ruski Standard is a vodka brand, right? And for anyone who's been to Russia or know any Russians, you know that vodka is a staple, a mainstay. It's what you drink, and you don't drink anything else, right? You drink when you're happy, and you drink when you're sad. But a lot of times, talking about counterfeit and fake, Russia is awash in fake vodka, and it's actually a huge, major epidemic that people are dying by the thousands from drinking, basically rubbing alcohol diluted with water, right? So he came in and said, no, my vodka is real, it's authentic, it's high quality, right? And people responded. It became the highest or the largest vodka brand in Russia. But in about 2004 or 2003, because there was so much alcoholism in Russia, the government of Russia said there will be no more advertising for vodka. Not on TV, not on radio, not on billboards, nothing. There will be no more advertising. So Rustam Tarico is like, okay, what do? I have this brand, Ruski Standard Vodka. What do? I can't advertise anymore. So he came up with a really big idea, right? He decided to start Ruski Standard Bank. No, seriously, he started a bank. It's the exact same logo, exact same name, exact same color, everything, right? He started a bank because he needed to get around the restrictions of advertising. No one said you can't advertise financial products, right? But in Russia, everyone knew the vodka, and so they see the brand, they're like, oh, it's an authentic vodka, maybe this bank is real too. Remember how in Russia all these banks were failing? So they equated vodka with financial products, and it exploded, right? Russian Standard Bank is the largest bank in Russia right now. It's got 20 million customers. It issues 77% of all credit cards in Russia, right? A vodka brand, and they got tons of stores. They're actually the exclusive exclusive provider in Russia for American Express credit cards. They also came out with a life insurance company, and now it's the largest life insurance company as well. And so this is the advertisement for the bank in Russia. Right? Mountain water, hot girls. What's really interesting is the tagline for this bank is "Beat Vichy," which means get higher. Right? I don't know what, I don't know can you imagine like American Express, get higher?